Hey guys, I'm Tina Banks and I'm your host today on Burl's Best Podcast. And today I have a treat for you guys. I have the pleasure of speaking to the Mr. Cedric Bacon from Cedric Bacon Photography.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Thank you so much for meeting with us today. So let's dive right in. Tell us about your photography business and what inspired you to start it.
I started photography. It was a hobby. Started off as a hobby, and started off shooting nature and landscape, astrophotography, flowers, birds, just the basics. And I was amazed how a camera can take you into a whole nother, perspective of just the simple stuff, like a ladybug or something. I can zoom in it with a micro lens, and I was just fascinated by it. So I kept messing around with it, shooting it, just as a hobby. And I did it for a year. Within that year, I had people started hit me up saying, "Hey man, you want to take our family photos?"
So were you posting the pictures of nature?
Yeah,
on social media?
On social media, Flickr, and back then I didn't have an Instagram, so it was basically like Facebook. So yeah, that's what kind of gave me my leap.
Yeah. So people started asking, and you started booking.
Yeah. At first I was doing it for free because I didn't take it serious. I mean, I was kind of confused. I was like, I'm shooting insects, grasshoppers and stuff, and people want me to take portraits. I was like, that's a whole nother level. I said, I don't do that. So I said, I just play around with it and see how it go. But you ain't got to pay me nothing. I mean, it's not that serious. So that's how it kind of started off. I did it for a year. Like I said, I did it for a year as a hobby. And I kind of got where people starting to kind of gravitate towards it, as far as portraits, individual portraits, senior sessions. So I was like, you know what, I might can capitalize off this, and I started charging it was dirt cheap, man. Oh my God, real cheap, and it just started elevating. And, people started kind of grasping to it more, and that's how it started.
So at what point did you figure hey, okay, this is becoming a business? So
I'd say about the second year. I still didn't have no website the second year. I just was doing it just give me what anything. It really didn't matter. Yeah. Because I was still in school. I was getting ready to graduate, to start my career. So, it really didn't matter. I was just doing it for fun.
So what were you doing prior to this photography?
I was doing IT. I got 2 degrees in I got one in information technology, and I got other one in networking, computer networking.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my thing. I really loved IT. Loved past tense.
Loved.
I don't love it anymore. I found my new baby, so it's just it's another level.
So how long have you been doing this now?
Total 4 years. Yep. 3 is a business, and 1 is a hobby. And I hate to say that as a business. It's a business. It's how I make my living and provide for my family. But I don't really consider it like actual work.
Not when you're having fun and it's your passion and you enjoy it.
I mean, it's not work to me. So
I mean, because who says doing what you love has to be like work?
I know.
I attribute work to maybe something that I don't typically enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So did you go to school for photography?
No.
Not one bit. YouTube University.
YouTube University. And I will say this. My brother-in-law, he motivated me a lot. I ain't gonna say kinda, he really my backbone, to be honest with you. Yeah.
What did he tell you? How did he encourage you?
I was actually doing YouTube videos, for IT related, and I would show people how to use certain programs, how to install Windows and all that. Like I said, that was my thing back then. So my channel got banned, and I was actually getting paid from YouTube every month. So I was like, I ain't got no use for a camera. I mean, I just brought it to really record myself. And
really?
Yeah, and set my videos up.
So why'd they ban you?
Copyright infringement.
Ooh,
yeah. Sometimes I have music clips playing, and if you don't have music. Back then, it was terrible. now it's more lenient because a lot of people are using like, but I think if I still was like doing it, this day and age, it'll be a whole lot different. But man, they got me. So I was like, man, I ain't got no reasons for no camera anymore. I actually put it on the marketplace for sale, but nobody didn't buy it. I was like, man, it's a good camera, man. So nobody ain't,
not one hit.
Nobody. So
that's when you know.
That's when my brother-in-law. One night, take that back. One night he was like, "Say, you still got that camera?" I said, "Yeah, I ain't sold it yet, man. I thought he was gonna buy it, So I was like, yeah, if I'm going to sell it,
Yeah.
get rid of it." He was like, "Hey, man, the moon is, it was a harvest moon that season." And he was like, "You got a zoom lens, right?" I said, "Man, I don't know. I just brought the camera for video. It was a Canon camera, a SX40. I remember that, and I brought it for video. I ain't care about the specs as long as it recorded video and it zoomed in." So he was like, "Man, bring it over here, and we'll see." He set it to like where I can see the craters, and he zoomed in. He set the aperture and all that. I was like, "Man, that camera can do all this?" He said, "Yes, sir, man." I was like, "What in the world?" So he was in photography. He still do photography. He did photography for me, and he really, I ain't gonna lie, he really my backbone. That's my A1. So if it weren't for him, it wouldn't be no Cedric Baker photography.
Wow.
His name is Mark Hilton, my brother-in-law. So yeah.
Shout out to Mark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So tell us about some of the things that's in your camera bag.
Well, one of my bag, I got like 3. So this one consists of like the bodies that I use. Yeah. So hold up. This is a Canon EOS R. This is my backup. This is the one my son normally shoots video on, and this is my primary EOS R. And I just ordered the R5 Sunday night. It'll be here like tomorrow or Friday. So this is my go-to.
That's nice.
EOS R 8514L series. Yeah, that's my go-to. And I like to shoot a lot of L. I don't really shoot anything less than L series. It's like the top of the line glass. You can see by the red rings around them. That's the top of the line, the most expensive, but the most, prolific glass to use. I don't use any of the kit lenses anymore. I used to, but when I started learning, and a lens play a whole lot as far as like quality. And that's one of the things I used to like try to avoid. But if you want the best images and the best, type of photography, you have to invest in the lens. I say the lenses are more important than the actual body.
Really?
Yeah. So.
And how does the light factor in?
It depends on if you like to use.
Because we're sitting in the studio now, and we're just basically recording with a ring light and natural light.
Yeah, that won't cut it. Yeah, it's just not enough power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I normally I got a lot of lights. So I should have brought that bag, but I normally shoot with a Explorer 600, and that's really overkill in the studio. You can use the 8200s or a basic pocket flash can do the job in some point or in some factors.
So it just basically depends on what type of look you're going for.
Yeah. Or what kind of lighting look the client brings. Like they'll show me a picture. And another thing about light, you got to be able and you got to be ready to emulate anything somebody bring you. Like they can bring you a photo, and I can tell when they bring the photo, I can tell where the lights are, and I can tell the position of the lights. And I can tell how much power they use. I mean, you got to, because they're gonna bring you other people, other photographers' work. They're gonna bring you stuff they seen on TikTok, or you just got to be ready. You just look at that. You can't think twice. You just got to go ahead and sit up because you only got an hour. Sometimes they have to change 2 times within that time frame. So you got to know light. It's a big deal. That's a real important factor in photography. Because like I said, they're gonna bring you any kind of light scenario. They're gonna bring you, man, luckily I got all this stuff here. I can do it because they're gonna bring you like light that you need a projector to emulate.
Wow.
And sometimes they bring the photos that projector, then you have to split the light with, it's a lot to it.
I just
is a
thought
lot.
like, okay, you get your camera and there's just this big light, and then you just take the picture.
Yeah, and I would. Can I show you? I'm gonna grab
Yeah,
something. Sorry,
sure.
y'all.
Oh goodness.
So I did a shoot with a client. She brought me a light setup, and it was actually they use this, and this continuous.
I have never
This
seen anything like that.
this continuous light source. It's 150 watt Godox SL 150, and this is the projector. So it's not a flash. So what I did to make that setup, I had this the a little device that I use to split the light.
When you said that, I was wondering like, how in the world can you split light?
Yeah, you can. And so this is what I use to actually use to
You see this?
hold it, and you can like move it to make the circle smaller.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is great. Oh.
Yeah, so it's almost like an aperture. You know what? And it's almost like an aperture ring in a camera. That's just
It's crazy.
Yeah. So if you was shooting at like, let me see. Yeah. You got to really be then with natural light. Well, not natural light, but with off camera, not off camera flash, but continuous light. You have to really, understand this stuff. So it slide in there, and I slid this in here to split that circle to make half, because that's what she wanted. And she was like amazed how I just went straight to it.
Yeah. So you already had this before that project?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I already know.
Wow.
Eventually, somebody gonna bring me something that I got to use this for. So it's quite convenient.
So when people are booking, do you give them advice as to like what colors, or like do you create the background based on like if they were in a pattern, or how do you decide?
Well, when they walk through the door, sometimes they go ahead and they ask me what kind of setup do I have, or and I like to ask them like what kind of colors you have, and what kind of theme that you wanted, or do you have any kind of reference pictures? That's what I like to go off of, reference pictures. And I can, I got the different colors.
You can pretty much match up anything. Yeah.
And I do a lot of digital stuff. Like I change the backdrop in Photoshop and add my own little twist to it sometimes.
So I know you were saying you were doing YouTube videos. Had you ever thought about doing that with photography?
Yeah, I thought about it.
So you think you may get back to producing?
I am. Okay. Yeah, because I teach the classes now. And you can book my classes on my website. So that'll be more convenient. They come in the studio and get the hands-on with the light set up. And I think with the editing, I can screen record my editing on my computer and do the YouTube. I think I'm going to bring that back. So
I think that'd be a great idea. Yep. So what advice can you give somebody that's looking to start their photography business?
It's expensive.
I can see that just from walking
in.
I'm telling you.
You got to consider the rental for the building, the lights, internet. I mean, it's just like a second home.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm. I
got
two houses, but it's worth it, and you got to be willing to you got to be willing to learn. You got to be obsessed with it. I mean, I can't tell you to be obsessed with it, but if you're obsessed with it, it's gonna come natural. Because I study photography every day. Even when I'm not even shooting, I just put my camera out and just navigate through the settings and stuff, or look for something I may have not used yet. Because I feel like I'm still new and I got a whole lot to learn.
There's plenty to learn. New stuff every day.
Yeah, you got to go outside, take pictures of in overcast. Like now it's cloudy outside. Cameras read grayscale.
Yeah.
Take pictures outside, not just during the when the sun is out. There's a lot of stuff that you got to consider. There's a lot of settings that you can maneuver to get quality and different perspectives that you don't normally see. So you just got to shoot. I remember when it snowed one year, I took my camera out, man. I went to Mill Creek. You just got to love what you do.
Yeah. And it's different too. I mean, you make memories. You're not you're creating memories for these people to be able to look back on for years to come.
You got to think about it, because nowadays it's just a different day and age, and
it is.
I mean, we losing a lot of people. So I feel photography is a way to bond families, and I like to see families up here laughing and having a good time among themselves. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do that too. Like every time there's a gathering,
Mm-hmm.
I always make sure I get a selfie with everybody. Because
Yeah.
you never know, like you said, when it's
Yeah.
going to be your last time getting a picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure that I do that. I love it. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah. You got to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be willing to invest.
Got
It's a
to.
lot. I ain't gonna lie. In 2 years, the money I invested, I could have paid off my house. To be honest, I'm dead serious.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know, with the equipment, and then, you know, invest in the time, invest in the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the learning curves, you got to, you know, a lot of people, let me tell you this, a lot of people, they want to continue to just shoot. They don't want to take a break and actually try to like learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it's very important. And I'm just giving, I'm just giving some advice,
Mm-hmm.
not to necessarily go full throttle and just like, you want to book a lot of clients and, you know, and make it all about the money. It's not all about the money, man. You really got to deliver like some quality stuff, and the money gonna come. Like I ain't really worried about that. Like I actually have to block my calendar off so people won't book, so I can have some time to, refresh myself and, just look at what I've been doing and see what I can go back and, not go back, but see what I can do in the future to kind of help what I've been previously shooting. I might have seen something that I kind of fix that, before I even, put the lights up, or it's a different setting I could have used. So it's always important to kind of go back and look over your past shoots to see what you can do better in the future shoots. So I like to do that a lot.
I commend you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way to just keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pivot and allow you to tell us who your favorite business in the borough is.
There's a lot of them. I'm gonna have to say who I visit the most. So that's Terry Lamont over at Heavenly Pleasures.
Heavenly Pleasures.
Yeah, that's my buddy, man.
Way to go, Terry. Woo
yeah.
woo.
Yeah, Terry, man. We talk about business all the time. And Terry a big inspiration. He always give me words of wisdom and vice versa.
He's a great business guy.
He is.
Yep. All right. So thank you for sharing all of this wealth of information with us today, and let us know how we can connect with you on social media.
All right. So Cedric Baker Photography on Facebook. Cedric Baker Photography on Instagram, and CedricBakerPhotography.com is where you can book me. And I have a lot of different appointments to suit your family need or your personal need, or however you want to go about doing it. I also offer one-on-one photography classes that can be learning just your basic camera setup, the light setup, or even editing. So any of that, we can go over and help you kind of build your photography up.
So that's all good stuff. So if you're passionate about photography or want to get into it, then hit up Cedric Bacon. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Thank y'all for having me.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.